We got conspiracy. You wanted a conspiracy theory? Here we go. Snot Vampire, him from Texas. Conspiracy theories and vaccine trouble coming soon. Hello, Snot Vampire. How are you?
Hey. Well, and yourself, Kelley?
I'm doing okay. What vaccine trouble do you see coming soon?
Oh, where do I start? Well, my question is, do we have to, if the crazy man gets put in charge of health, does that mean we have to stop giving our dogs rabies vaccines as well? Because that seems to work pretty well.
I'm kind of worried about crazy people getting put in charge of our national health. That does seem like it might be a very big problem in this country in the near future. I'm worried that maybe the people who are supposed to be taking care of our health might have had that part of their brain eaten by a worm.
The worm died because it didn't have enough brain material to live on, I think.
That's what I heard.
Now, this is the guy that tied a chainsaw to whale's. This is the guy that chainsawed a whale's head off, tied it to his car. The same guy that dumped a dead bear in Central Park, and he's going to be in charge of health. Health? Hello.
Yeah,
I think it could only be worse if you put him in charge of the environment.
Well, that's.
I'm sure we've got somebody worse for that.
I was thinking back to Dr. Strangelove when General Jack Ripper said, "Mandrake, do you know when water fluoridation started?" No, Jack, I don't. 1946, Mandrake. Right after this, he makes it a Soviet threat. That's when they started fluoridating the water. It's obvious, isn't it? Everything we thought was a joke is now real.
I love the fluorine conspiracies and that it's there to poison you. Like, I've never understood that. We don't, in the UK, we don't have fluorinated water, at least in Scotland. We kind of pride ourselves in the fact our drinking water is the best in the UK. But I've never understood that. Like, why? I wonder where the conspiracy for things like the government is out to get you, specifically you, comes from. It'd be very interesting to do a deep dive into it.
I'm not sure about the origin of. I'm not 100% sure about the origin of this one. I have been told, and I've seen it traced back to large shipments of fluoride being brought into concentration camps during World War II. The idea being that a large amount of fluoride would make you complacent, so it would be easier to control people. Now, I don't know if that's actually true of fluoride. I don't think it is, honestly.
That's generally what the guns and wire fences are for.
Yeah, right, exactly. So, yeah, and I don't know that there was any proof that that's what they were using the fluoride for to begin with. I mean, who knows? I mean, maybe they were using it to polish the barbed wire. I have no idea, honestly. And I don't think anybody really does, but it's just one of those incredible leaps of logic to head to a conclusion that I want to prove, I think, is what was going on there, right?
I have a powerful answer for what EJ was talking about. In the 50s, there was a ultra-right, conspiracy-oriented organization called the John Birch Society.
Oh, yeah.
They did a lot to promote the fluoride conspiracy.
Mm-hmm. Brother John Birch.
That's my information.
Why is it always groups who are deciding?
I was going to say on conspiracy theories in general, I'm asked occasionally, well, what does it matter if people believe that other people are being abducted by aliens or that the Earth is flat or this and that? And it does matter a great deal, I think, because once you've gone into that realm and you're willing to accept anything you see on Coast to Coast or the Gaia channel, then you've kind of abandoned critical thinking. You're open to any and all weird stuff just because somebody possibly with a degree, possibly without, tells it, says it. I think it was Terry Pratchett that said, it's good to keep an open mind, but but if you keep it too open, somebody will come along and put something stupid in it.
Yeah.
And I think that's
I've heard similar quotes of. Yeah, I've heard similar quotes of it's good to have an open mind, but if your mind's too open, your brain will fall out. I have noticed that, and what you were saying with conspiracies, how they can start to lead you down a path of losing your critical thinking. I've noticed that, especially when it comes to conspiracies around like Göbekli Tepe or the pyramids, and how they were not built by people or they were built to stop a natural disaster. You often find that that's the first step to going down a rabbit hole that often leads to not very human-friendly conspiracies.
Mhm.
Yes, indeed. Because if the aliens built the pyramids, possibly using dinosaurs as a labor, then why doesn't it make just as much sense that Venus broke out of, this is the Velikovsky theory, that Venus broke out of Jupiter, passed by the Earth, boiled all the oceans, and went into orbit around the sun? If you believe one crazy thing, why not believe another?
You forgot that it knocked Mars out of its orbit. Because Mars used to be where Venus is now, right? According to Velikovsky.
You got me there, because I've never read the damn book, nor will I.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, you caught
Mars was where Venus now, so Venus broke off of Jupiter, came flying through. That caused all these problems on Earth, knocked Mars out of its orbit, which came flying back by Earth, caused more problems, and then eventually settled into its orbit that it's in now. Which is why Mars is smaller than the Earth, when it should be larger.
It's because there's a multi-100-year-long conspiracy among every scientist in the world that they're all in league to deceive us. They're all working for the Illuminati, Vatican, Mason, aliens. They're all working for those secretive groups to deceive us. Well, let me tell you something. Scientists are as eager to gain claim and be famous as anybody else. It would only take one scientist to go, hey, wait, they've been lying to you. I have the truth. That guy would get a Nobel Prize. Scientists are just like all of us. They want to be famous.
Mm-hmm.
What you're saying there also applies to, on the last caller, we were talking about a conspiracy involving the military. Same is true with them. Like, whenever someone mentions the flat Earth and how there is like military snipers positioned around the Earth ready to take you out, like, someone would have mentioned that on a talk show by now. Like, you'd be surprised what a beer and a cigarette buys you with soldiers.
Yeah, I can't even get 10 people to keep a surprise birthday party a secret. I don't know how you're going to keep hundreds of scientists with big egos that need to be stroked.
Not even the mafia could keep a secret. Even they had rats.
Yeah.
If the mafia can't keep a secret, who can? So the one that kills me is the giant skeletons. And so many of those photos have been debunked so thoroughly. But yet you still see videos on the skeletons that the Smithsonian dumped into the ocean. And you got that where? From another YouTube video, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. First of all, human beings above a certain size cannot physiologically exist. The heart can't pump that much blood. Those bones can't support that weight. It runs afoul of everything we know about science, but yet people are like, well, fuck science. That doesn't mean anything. What are you talking about? Anyway.
God doesn't need science.
You probably have. Oh, well, yes. And, I go with what Neil deGrasse Tyson said. Let's make America smart again.
Amen to that.
Good luck.
Yeah, totally amen to that. I think that might have been one of our problems, honestly. I was just talking to a friend this morning about it. Is I actually seen supporters from one of our candidates saying that the Harris's main problem was that she treated the voters like they were idiots. And I was thinking, I think she might have done just the opposite. She was giving people too much credit. And I think she was I think she was appealing to a higher intellectual capacity people than were actually hearing the message. So,
who was it that said no one ever went broke underestimating the taste of the American public?
P.T. Barnum said.
Let me tell you a quick anecdote. This is just a story. Haven't vetted it. Couldn't be vetted. A woman said her husband works at a small manufacturing plant in Pennsylvania, and they had a company meeting the next day, and most of the employees are Trump supporters. And he said, I'm sorry, but there won't be any Christmas bonuses this year because we have to buy as much material that we import as quickly as we can to avoid the tariffs. And the people were nonplussed. They were like, well, tariffs? We don't pay the tariffs. Yes, you idiots, you do pay the tariffs. It just makes me mad. Well, gentlemen, I'll let you go. Have a great rest of your show. And
well, thanks. Appreciate it.
Well, keep up the good work, and I'll call again soon. Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.